Bella Dango, the only daughter of Mr. Dango, the well-known Black American owner of the prestigious Mag Hotel, stood in her father's expansive office, staring out at the glimmering skyline of the foreign land they called home. Mag Hotel was a symbol of wealth, luxury, and success, known for being the highest-paying employer in the region. It was a place where people considered themselves lucky to work, but recently, Bella had begun to hear disturbing rumors. Despite Mag Hotel's reputation, whispers spread about discrimination within its walls. It was said that Black employees were not given equal opportunities and were only allowed to work in lower positions, such as housekeeping. Reception and other higher-profile roles were reserved for others, and this did not sit well with Bella. Determined to see the truth for herself, Bella made a decision. She wouldn't confront her father directly, Mr. Dango. A sharp but kind man of 60 had always protected her from the harsh realities of business. He would never approve of her plan. But Bella felt she needed to know if these rumors were true. So she devised a plan in secret. It was said that Black employees were not given equal opportunities and were only allowed to work in lower positions, such as housekeeping. Reception and other higher-profile roles were reserved for others, and this did not sit well with Bella. She wouldn't confront her father directly, Mr. Dango. A sharp but kind man of 60 had always protected her from the harsh realities of business. He would never approve of her plan, but Bella felt she needed to know if these rumors were true. So she devised a plan in secret. Bella approached Daniel, one of her father's most trusted managers, a man she knew well and could rely on. Together, they plotted her entry into the hotel as an undercover worker. Bella would disguise herself as an average Black woman seeking employment at Mag Hotel. She would not use her name or connections. Daniel hesitated but eventually agreed, knowing the weight of Bella's concerns. A few weeks later, Bella's disguise was complete. Her luxurious wardrobe was replaced by plain clothing, her hair wrapped under a modest scarf. She had applied for a job at Mag Hotel, aiming for a position at the reception desk. However, during the interview process, she was told bluntly by one of the senior hotel personnel that due to her color, she could only work as a housekeeper. Despite the sting of rejection, Bella swallowed her pride and accepted the offer. Her heart raced with a mix of frustration and anticipation. She had hoped the rumors were wrong, but this was just the beginning of what she would discover. On her first day as a housekeeper, Bella arrived at the Grand Hotel with a bucket and cleaning supplies in hand. The lavish halls seemed colder now that she wasn't walking them as the CEO's daughter, but as a mere worker. From the moment she entered the staff room, her new colleagues eyed her with disdain. They whispered among themselves, some even laughed outright. She wasn't welcomed. No one wanted to talk to her. Bella kept her head down and did what she was told. No matter how well she cleaned the rooms, there was always something to complain about. They criticized her for the smallest mistakes, and it became clear they were looking for a reason to get rid of her, but they couldn't. Daniel had ensured her employment was somewhat protected by a higher-up, though she didn't reveal her true identity to anyone except him. Days turned into weeks, and the loneliness of her job started to weigh on Bella. Despite her efforts, no one treated her with respect, and the discrimination she had feared was more real than ever. She was beginning to lose hope in the hotel her father had built from the ground up. One day, after a particularly hard shift, she was sitting alone in the staff cafeteria when a friendly face approached her. It was Natasha, a young woman who also worked as a housekeeper. She had been quiet but kind from the beginning, and Bella had noticed her gestures of support, though they had never spoken much. "You're doing well," Natasha said, sitting down beside her. "I've noticed how hard you've been working. It's not easy here for people like us." Bella smiled gratefully. Natasha was the first person to extend any kindness to her in weeks. They began to talk, and over time, a deep friendship formed. Natasha confided in Bella about her own struggles as a Black employee at Mag Hotel, sharing stories of mistreatment and exclusion. Bella listened intently, her heart heavy with anger and sadness. With Natasha by her side, Bella found renewed strength. They would document everything: the comments, the unjust treatment, the policies that restricted Black employees from certain positions. The day came when they had enough. Bella knew it was time to reveal her true identity, but she wanted to do it in the most impactful way possible. She arranged a staff meeting, claiming it was to address concerns about housekeeping issues. With Daniel's help, all the key figures who had mistreated her, as well as the senior hotel management, were present. As the meeting began, Bella stood before them, her heart pounding. She had spent weeks being belittled and underestimated, but now she was ready to reclaim her power. "I have been working here for weeks," she began, her voice steady but strong. "But today, I stand here not as a housekeeper, but as Bella Dango, daughter of Mr. Dango, the owner of Mag Hotel." The room fell silent. Eyes widened in shock as people realized who she truly was. The same people who had ignored or belittled her now stared in disbelief. "My father built this hotel on principles of respect and equality," Bella continued. "But what I have seen is the opposite. We claim to be the best, yet we treat our own employees with prejudice and cruelty." She turned to the managers, addressing them directly. "This ends now. We will no longer tolerate racism or exclusion at Mag Hotel. I will personally see to it that the policies are changed and that those responsible for perpetuating this behavior are held accountable." The shock of her revelation rippled through the hotel in the days that followed. True to her word, Bella worked tirelessly to implement changes, ensuring that every employee was treated with fairness and respect. Her father, once he learned of her mission, was both proud and devastated by the truth she uncovered. He vowed to support her in every step of the transformation. With Natasha by her side, Bella became a symbol of change at Mag Hotel. No longer a place of hidden prejudice, the hotel began to flourish under new, inclusive leadership. And as for Bella, she knew she had done the right thing, not just for herself, but for every worker who had ever been silenced or ignored. A few months after Bella Dango's bold revelation and the sweeping changes at Mag Hotel, the atmosphere had shifted. What once was a place that silently tolerated discrimination was transforming into a beacon of equality and respect. The hotel was flourishing more than ever, and Bella's efforts to reform its internal culture were paying off. But one of the most important changes was still yet to come: the appointment of a new head manager. Bella knew that for real, lasting change to happen, the leadership of Mag Hotel had to reflect the values of equality and inclusion, and there was no one she trusted more for that role than Natasha, her friend who had stood by her side through the most difficult days of her undercover mission. Natasha's resilience, work ethic, and deep understanding of the struggles Black employees faced made her the perfect candidate. One afternoon, as Bella and Natasha sat together in the now bustling cafeteria, no longer a place of cold stares and exclusion, Bella turned to her friend with a smile. "Natasha," she began, "I've been thinking about how far we've come. I couldn't have done any of this without you." Natasha, ever humble, shook her head. "Bella, you were the one who had the courage to stand up and reveal the truth. I just did what I could to help." "But that's exactly why I want you to take on a bigger role here," Bella said, her eyes twinkling. "I want you to be the new head manager of Mag Hotel." Bella smiled warmly. "You're more than qualified. You've been here longer than most of the staff. You know the ins and outs of this hotel. And most importantly, you understand what it means to treat people fairly. That's what this place needs. Leadership isn't about titles or experience. It's about heart. And you've got that in abundance." Natasha's eyes widened in disbelief. "Me? Bella, are you serious? I've only ever been a housekeeper. I don't know if I'm qualified for something like that." Natasha was speechless for a moment, her emotions swirling. She had never imagined that she would be considered for such a prestigious role. Her whole life, she had worked quietly in the background, watching others rise to positions she knew she deserved, but never thought she'd get a chance to attain. Now, here was Bella offering her an opportunity to make a real difference, not just for herself, but for all the people who had been overlooked like she once was. I don't know what to say," Natasha finally whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. "This means everything to me." Natasha accepted the position, and the news of her promotion spread quickly throughout the hotel. There were some who were skeptical, of course. Natasha had started as a housekeeper after all, and there were those who doubted her ability to manage such a prestigious establishment. But Bella had absolute faith in her friend, and soon enough Natasha would prove everyone wrong. "Say yes," Bella said, reaching out to clasp her hand. "We've already started changing this place, but with you as head manager, we can make sure it stays that way." On her first day as head manager, Natasha walked into her new office, a spacious, sunlit room with a view of the city. It was a far cry from the cramped housekeeping quarters she had once worked in, but she didn't let the grandeur overwhelm her. Natasha was there for a purpose. From the very beginning, she implemented new policies aimed at creating a more inclusive and respectful environment. She introduced mandatory diversity and inclusion training for all employees and established an open-door policy where staff could come to her directly with concerns, knowing they would be heard. Natasha also made it her mission to promote from within. She remembered all too well what it was like to be stuck in a job with no hope of advancement, simply because of the color of her skin. Under her leadership, qualified employees from all backgrounds were given the opportunity to rise through the ranks. No longer were Black workers relegated to housekeeping. They could now be seen at the reception, in management, and even at executive levels. The transformation was not without its challenges. There were those who resisted change, clinging to the old ways and attitudes. But Natasha faced these challenges head-on, just as she had done all her life. With Bella's support, she dismantled the structures that had allowed discrimination to thrive and replaced them with systems of fairness and opportunity. One of Natasha's proudest moments came when she introduced a new mentorship program designed to help young, underrepresented employees develop the skills they needed to succeed in the hospitality industry. She personally mentored several young women, many of whom reminded her of herself when she had first started at Mag Hotel. "I never thought I'd be in a position like this," Natasha told a group of new employees one day during a mentorship session. "But that's the thing. Don't ever let anyone tell you what you're capable of. You define your own future." As months passed, Mag Hotel continued to thrive under Natasha's leadership. The hotel had gained a reputation not only for its luxury, but also for its progressive workplace culture. People from all over the world wanted to work there, knowing that it was a place where they would be treated with respect and given a chance to succeed, regardless of their background. One evening, after a long but fulfilling day, Natasha found herself alone in her office, reflecting on her journey. The once quiet housekeeper was now the respected head manager of one of the most prestigious hotels in the world. It still felt surreal at times, but deep down, she knew she had earned every bit of it. There was a knock on the door, and Bella stepped in with a warm smile. "Hey, just wanted to check on you before I head out." Natasha smiled back, grateful as always for Bella's unwavering support. I'm doing great, just thinking about everything. I'm so proud of you, Natasha, Bella said, sitting down across from her. You've turned this place into something amazing. Natasha looked around the office, then back at Bella. We did it together, Bella grinned. Yeah, we did. The two friends sat in comfortable silence for a moment, the weight of their shared journey settling between them. They had both come so far. Bella, the daughter of a wealthy CEO who had risked everything to uncover the truth, and Natasha, the housekeeper who had risen to become a leader in her own right. In that moment, they knew that the future of Mag Hotel was in good hands, not just because of their efforts, but because they had created a legacy of fairness, inclusion, and respect that would last for generations to come. As they left the office together, the lights of the city twinkling outside, they knew that they had not just changed a hotel, they had changed lives.